Yes, sir. Bea Kupin of Rappler, and Ron Ballesteros of IBC 13, and of course, Edniel Perosa of DCRH. Meron bang, hindi ba siya, Edniel? Meron pa bang hindi natawag ito that was not able to register in our weekly presser? Kung wala na po, again, would like to welcome everybody in the headquarters Philippine Navy. So we'll now be going and proceeding to the next part. Since wala si AP spokesperson, so I'll be reading out the updates of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Just recently, the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the United States military are officially underway with Exercise Balikatan 39-2024 as the annual bilateral exercise kicked off yesterday, April 22 in Camp Aguinaldo. This year's exercise will be highlighted by field training exercises, which feature joint all-domain operations, the highlight of which is the Maritime Strike Live-Fire exercise, which will happen on May 8 in La Paz Sand Dunes in Luwag City. We also like to take this opportunity to announce some changes in the previously published Balikatan schedules. The Integrated Air and Missile Defense activity initially set in San Antonio, Zambales is canceled. However, this activity is expected to be moved to Lawag, Ilocos Norte, and the final date is yet to be determined, but nevertheless, we'll keep you posted from time to time as our partners in this endeavor. Second is the Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Romy S. Browner Jr. joined the celebration of the 3rd anniversary of Zamboanga del Sur's declaration as an insurgency-free province at the Provincial Government Center, Barangay Dao, Pagadian City on Sunday, April 21. The event commemorated the efforts and dedication of local leaders, uniformed services, and the community in ensuring sustained peace and order in the province. General Browner congratulated the people of Zamboanga del Sur for maintaining the peace in the province and encouraged them to join the whole-of-nation effort to protect our sovereignty and sovereign rights as we transition our focus from internal security to territorial defense. On third updates, the Armed Forces Chief of Staff, or the AFP Chief of Staff, also encouraged the men and women of the AFP Special Operations Command to maintain their dedication as the primary special force operator during the AFP SOCOM 6th founding anniversary at Fort Magsaysay, Nueva Ecija on last Monday, April 15, 2024. The anniversary celebration highlighted the significant contributions and accomplishments of the AFP SOCOM, playing a pivotal role in the planning, execution, and support operations ensuring the peace and security in our country. On internal security operations, over the past week, we have made significant accomplishments on internal security operations. Residents of UP Maguindanao del Norte, South UP Maguindanao del Sur, and Libak Sultan Kudarat turned in 58 assorted high-powered and low-powered firearms to the military on April 19, 2024. This is in support of the campaign against the proliferation of loose firearms. The surrendered firearms were subsequently presented to Brigadier General Michael Santos, the commander of the 603rd Infantry Brigade and the local government unit of South UP. Two former members of the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters Bungos faction, or BIF, laid down their arms and returned to the folds of the law on April 19, 2024. The surrendered personalities submitted themselves to the soldiers conducting decisive military operations in Dato Saudi Ampatuan and Dato Salibo, all of Maguindanao del Sur. The two handed over one caliber 30 M1 Garand rifle with 16 rounds of serviceable ammunition and one Ultimax. Troops of the 8th Infantry Battalion, under the operational control of the 403rd Infantry Brigade, 4th Infantry Division, have successfully negotiated the surrender of 6 members of the communist terrorist group in Ipasugong, Bukidnon on Thursday, April 18, 2024. The surrenderers all belong to Squad 3, HQF NEO, of the so-called North Central Mindanao Regional Committee, or NCMRC, and yielded 3 AK-47 and 1 M1 carbine rifles. In terms of combat operations, troops from the 1st Brigade Combat Team with the elements from the 1st Scout Ranger Battalion engaged more or less 15 members of the BIFF Carialan faction in a series of encounters yesterday, April 22, from 7:30 a.m. to 1:10 p.m. in Sitio Pendililang, Kitangaw, Dato, Saudi Ampatuan, Maguindanao del Sur. This resulted to 12 killed, or body counts including Muhiden Animbang alias Carialan, the chairman of the BIFF Carialan faction. Troops also recovered 1 M4 light rifle, 5 M16A1 rifles, 3 M14 rifles, 2 M653 rifles, and 1 high-powered firearm. 7 were wounded from the government troops and are now on stable condition. Troops from 1st BCT, including nearby brigades, are on high alert to thwart any threat from the enemies. We assure the public that operations are ongoing to hunt down the remaining terrorists and monitor their activities as preemptive measures. Meanwhile, following are the total numbers or enemy neutralized and firearms seized from 01 January to 18 April 2024. 794 communist terrorist groups members and supporters were neutralized, broken down to 701 surrendered, 46 apprehended, and 47 killed. A total of 322 firearms and 88 anti-personnel mines were either captured or seized or surrendered, and 92 encampments were seized. In the same period, a total of 98 local terrorist group members were neutralized, broken down to 70 surrendered, 4 apprehended, and 24 killed. A total of 90 firearms and 12 anti-personnel mines were either captured or surrendered, and 8 encampments were seized. For some Balikatan updates, the Filipino and American troops are continuously conducting humanitarian civic action program in Palawan. The construction of Community Health Center in Barangay Punta Baja, Rizal, Palawan is about 61% complete. Involved units include the 3rd Naval Combat Engineer Battalion and the Marine Battalion Landing Team 7 from the AFP and the 7th Engineering Support Battalion from the United States. Also, the Joint Task Force Peacock, together with its counterparts from the U.S. Marine Corps, have already conducted site survey and inspection of the beach landing site in Ulay, Rizal, Palawan. More Balikatan updates will be discussed in details later on. We have with us today is Lieutenant Colonel Brian Block for some updates and some clarifications on Balikatan. On territorial defense operations, or the West Philippine Sea. For this particular update on TDO and West Philippine Sea, the Philippine Navy spokesperson on the West Philippine Sea, Commodore Roy Vincent Trinidad, will be open for questions later after the Balikatan updates. On our major services updates, on the Philippine Army, the Philippine Army troops from the 5th and 7th Infantry Division, together with the U.S. Army counterparts, engaged in a series of subject matter expert exchanges, or SMEE, during the exercise Salaknib 2024 at Fort Magsaysay, Philippines, on April 16 to 17, 2024. The information exchange included night vision, sniper, medical, and field artillery operations. Troops also conducted a night operation subject matter experts exchange during exercise Salaknib 2024 at Fort Magsaysay on April 18, 2024. The participants were able to train on employing night capabilities, M4 carbine weapon system, and night optic devices to enhance interoperability between the two forces. Moreover, the Philippine Army, through the Army's Support Command, or ASCOM, and the United States Army Pacific, or USARPAC, as well conducted the PA-USARPAC Sustainment Initiative 2024 during the Salaknib 2024 on April 11 to 16, 2024 at Headquarters ASCOM Camp General Serviliano Aquino, San Miguel, Tarlac. Now going to the Philippine Navy, DND Assistant Secretary Henry Robinson Jr. visited the Philippine Navy Headquarters on April 15 to discuss key command initiatives with Vice Admiral Toribio Adasi Jr., focusing on Philippine Navy Reserve Force development and reservist integration with the AFP regular forces. The Naval Forces Central with the Naval Intelligence and Security Group Central and various law enforcement agencies conducted a successful joint counter-action operation against counterfeit cigarettes in Tagbilaran City, Bohol on April 16. The operation led to the apprehension of Chinese nationals and owners of a retail store involved in selling counterfeit cigarettes, resulting in the seizure of 14 boxes valued at 722,700 pesos. Now going to the Philippine Air Force. The Philippine Air Force and the United States Air Force concluded the Cove Thunder Philippines 24-1 on April 19, 2024 at Basa Air Base in Florida Blanca, Pampanga. On the concluding day of Cove Thunder, Philippine Air Force and U.S. Air Force maintenance personnel exchanged best practices in aircraft maintenance during the subject matter exchange activities. That will be all for our AFP updates, and now we could actually proceed with the question and answer for some clarifications coming from the media. I would like to encourage that we'll talk about the Philippine Navy as the last part so that it is connected later on when the FOIC will be coming in para may continuity tayo sa discussions. So if there are any clarifications on our major services, on their particular activity or even future plans, we could start with maybe with the Philippine Air Force. They put in the stand, yes. Para all other clarifications and questions coming for the Philippine Air Force can be addressed by Colonel Castillo. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Aside from what was already announced by our AFP PAO, you mentioned about the culmination of Cove Thunder. Actually, the same set of personnel who participated in Cove Thunder are the ones participating in Balikatan. So continuous lang din. Hopefully, also, they said that the same personnel who will be participating in Balikatan, Cove Thunder Balikatan, will also be the same ones who will participate for the second iteration of Cove Thunder, which is expected to happen in June. And then aside from that, we are expecting the acceptance turnover and blessing of our mobile radar. So this is the mobile radar which is incorporated in the project of the four radars that were acquired from Melco, Japan, which is a government-to-government procurement. If you remember, we had the acceptance turnover and blessing of our first fixed radar in Walas in December last year. And so this is the mobile radar that we are expecting to accept and bless this coming April 29 at GHQ. So those members of the media who will be covering this will be finalized by DCOMS. So if ever your agencies would like to cover that, coordination has to be made with DCOMS. I believe they're going to limit the number of media outfits who will cover that event. There's only limited slots, so I believe DCOMS will engage your respective presidents from FOCAPS and from DPC to finalize the list of authorized media to cover the event. So that's it.
Thank you,
Thank
Colonel
you.
Castillo.
Thank you,
Do you
sir.
have any plans to discuss the future activities of the Philippine Air Force as to the future engagements here? if there are any exercises or participation of the Philippine Air Force.
Sir, what, the pitch black pala, sir.
Yes.
Pitch black. Pitch black exercise, we already released the advisory regarding that. It's actually going to be held in Australia. So, if you recall, we sent a message seeking your help to forward the letter or the information to your respective companies so they can decide if they're going to send in local media from the Philippines to cover the event or they're just going to tap your correspondence. But definitely if you're going to send in your members from the local media, all the travel and accommodation expenses will have to be covered by your company. However, once you are there in Australia, our public affairs team from the Philippine Air Force will be there to assist you as regards base access.
Are there any questions or clarifications for the spokesperson of the Philippine Air Force? Anybody from? Yes, John Eric from Inquirer.
Ma'am, good morning. Ilan ang papadala natin personnel po for Pitch Black?
For Pitch Black, that's in Australia, we're expected to send in more than 100 personnel. Right now, I think the ballpark figure is around 125, but they're still at the finalization stage of all the movement plans. And then also remember that our participation in Pitch Black exercise will be the first ever that the Philippines will be sending in aircraft for an international exercise. So this is a milestone event. The Pitch Black exercise will be happening from July up to the first few days of August. Yes, actually it's the first in decades. It's the first in decades that we're going to send in our aircraft to participate because during the previous iterations of Pitch Black, which happens every 2 years, we've been only sending observers, pilots, mga maintenance officers, radar operators. But this time, there will be actual participation of our aircraft.
Okay, next question will be coming from Manila Shipboard kay Rabina Asido.
Thank you. Ma'am, I believe yung Vice Defense Minister ng Japan will be here next week.
That's right. That's
If I'm not
right.
mistaken, that would be 28 or 29.
I think it's the Japan minister himself.
Defense Minister supposedly, but I
Yes.
think magkakaroon ng changes. So parang hindi siya makakapunta, yung Vice yata yung pupunta. So anyway, yung pupunta na from Defense Minister, will he be present during the acceptance and blessing
Yes,
ceremony?
that's the plan actually. Whoever will be visiting will be the one to join our Secretary of National Defense in the acceptance, turnover, and blessing ceremony of the mobile radar.
Alright.
Okay.
Tapos ma'am, can you give us a brief background kailan dumating tong mobile radar, specs, yung mga important lang?
Regarding the specifications, we cannot give you the specifications.
At least general
of that.
information
Yeah.
about yung used and
Yeah.
importance, just for background purpose. Thank you.
So this mobile radar is one of the 4 radars that we acquired from Japan, specifically from Melco, and we did it through a government-to-government procurement. And of course, this is part of our developing our capabilities to be able to monitor air and maritime activities in our areas of concern.
Okay, thank you for that question, Robina. Any other questions from our media? Yes, Priyam from PNA.
Colonel Castillo.
Yes.
If we're sending 125 PAP personnel, could we know how many aircraft are we sending for the air-to-air exercises?
The plan is to send 6 aircraft, FA-50s, particularly FA-50s. But of course, we have to send in also our cargo aircraft to be able to transport all the support personnel and equipment.
So we will be sending C-130s or C-290s?
That's right, C-130s. That's the plan right
So
now.
that's a detachment. They will be sending a detachment using the C-130s?
Definitely, we're going to send all the necessary support and equipment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Priyam. Any other questions for our Philippine Air Force spokesperson? Okay, from IBC 13.
Ma'am, what do we expect dun sa Pitch Black na pwedeng makuha ng PAF?
bukod dun sa interoperability, sa mga advanced na informations or what, and military operations, ano pa po bukod dun?
Of course, that's a intent for us to be able to develop our interoperability with the different participating nations in that country. Remember, there are around 40. I think based on history, there has been a participation of 40 countries in the previous conduct of Beach Black, but not all those countries send in their aircraft. So this is a big thing for the Air Force because it means that we are really developing our capabilities to engage in such international exercises. Somehow it uplifts the reputation of our country to be able to, increase and enhance our participation in such international exercises. So that's a big thing for us. And at the same time, of course, not only developing interoperability, but also developing the skills and capabilities of our fighter units.
Meaning to say, can we see na parang magkakaroon pa tayo ng iba pang international participation bukod po sa Beach Black?
Hopefully, this is just the beginning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Belterso from ABC 13. Next question would be coming from, again, follow-up question from Robina.
Ma'am, saan po i-deploy itong mobile radar?
Of course, we cannot see the deployment of our mobile radar. Definitely, it's going to be deployed anywhere within the Philippines where it will best needed, especially if there are areas that are considered to be threat areas. So that's where we're going to deploy this mobile radar.
Thank you, Robina. Again, another follow-up from Priam from PNA.
Ma'am, since the FA-50s are our primary jet fighters for now, we will be sending 6 or around half the active squadron. Will we have enough aircraft to cover our air defense needs if we send all those aircraft?
Yes, definitely. We still have remaining aircraft to cover our air defense needs in the Philippines.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other question for our Philippine Air Force? Any updates or clarifications?
Sir, if I may just add,
Yes,
sir,
please,
in case
please,
you're
sir.
interested, just yesterday we also had a forest fire incident in Iliga City. We sent in 2 of our search and rescue helicopters to do bomb bucket operations. I'll just do a press release regarding that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much,
you, sir.
Colonel Castillo. May we now call on our, from the Philippine Army, kuha na natin later ilasan natin si Philippine Navy. Any updates coming from the Philippine Army aside from what is being stated kanina?
Sir, anyway, sir, good afternoon, sir. I'm Major Estrada representing Colonel Luigi de Maala, the Army spokesperson. Anyway, sir, sa mga question na hindi ko masagot, i-refer ko na lang sa my former boss, Colonel Trinidad. Anyway, sir, nagpadala na kami ng media advisory for this coming Friday. April 28, we'll be having a field artillery subject matter expert exchange live fire exercise with as part of the Salaknib sa Laur, Nueva Ecija at 9 o'clock. So sa mga hindi pa nakapag-signify doon sa aming media advisory, it is still open for media coverage.
That is April
28, sir.
28.
Correction, sir. April 26.
April 26.
So this coming Friday.
This coming Friday. Okay. At least I think there's now no conflict still with our Balikatan exercise schedule. So our media partners here are encouraged and invited to witness and cover the activity in Laur, Nueva Ecija.
Yes.
Any other updates?
Anyway, sir, yung recently updates naman, sir, is nabanggit nyo about doon sa this Monday encounter with the BFF faction led by Karyalan, sir. So anyway, sir, that's all for...
Anyway, wait. We recognize Ian from Gemini 7. Please use the mic. Pakipasa yung mic doon para at least narinig na lahat.
Sir Estrada, yun nga po, can you walk
Yes,
us
sir.
through ano po nangyari doon sa BIF, sa Karyalan Group as we speak, kumusta na sila ngayon?
Yes, sir. As per our sir, report, sir, we have 7 WIAs in our government side and 12 KIAs for the enemy. And to the update, sir, is still ongoing pa yung pursuit operation and we cannot discuss furthermore yung operation niya, sir. But still, sir, yung mga family naman or those wounded are properly cared of by our Philippine Army.
Okay, just to make a note on that, the person that was targeted or included in the killed from the enemy is the mismong leader of the BIF Karyalan faction. So as of now, as we are here, ongoing ang ating pursuit operations, and of course, those matters cannot be disclosed at this moment, but they will be giving updates. The Philippine Army will be giving updates also on this particular aspect. Thank you. You were asking Lady Kabagani of Tribune.
Sir, may we ask an update para doon sa manhunt operation sa mga soldiers, doon sa mga pumatay sa 4 na soldiers sa during Ramadan ambush? May ongoing manhunt operation. The Dawla Islamiyah Hasan Group ang tinuturong suspect.
Well, we'll get to you back. We don't have the actual details on that, but I'm sure the Philippine Army on the ground are actually doing their best to make sure these perpetrators are being taken care of, basically. But again, all other informations can be addressed or be given to you for the updates. Thank you. Any other questions for our Philippine Army side? Anyway, these are some clarifications, and then kung meron po tayong ating mga lalo na dun sa Laknib or any things that you want to be clarified on that. Okay, Rabina from Manila Simbon.
Sir, sa strength na lang ng BIFF, since marami tayong na-neutralize kahapon, ano na yung current strength ng BIFF? At saka gaano kalakas yung impact nitong result ng operation kahapon? For the record.
Ma'am, actually, I don't have the copy of the strength for the BIFF. But as a background na lang, ma'am, is Karyalan is one of my enemy during my platoon leader days. So it is a big impact for the BIFF. Kasi siya talaga yung yung hinabol-habol namin during my lieutenant days when I was then platoon leader doon sa Maguindanao. But to the strength, ma'am, i-chat ko na lang kayo with regards to the strength. But si Muhyiddin Animbang is one of the, sabihin ko lang na notorious leader ng ating BIFF.
Hindi mo pa kinumpleto kanina, nasa na yung mic. Anyway, sige, lady, nagpapalitan na kayo ng mic. Okay, go ahead, lady.
Sir,
With your clarification.
Yung BIFF po kasi, di ba, considered siya na gumagamit talaga ng ideas
Yes.
sa area, particularly Maguindanao, sir. Gaano kalakas, gaano ka-frequent yung paggamit nila ng IEDs ngayon compared sa dati, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Ma'am, actually, yun nga, ma'am, is kay Karyalan faction, yun nga kay Muhyiddin Animbang is considered as local terrorist group natin. And for one of their tactics nga is using yung emplacement ng ating mga IEDs. So basically, sila rin yung mga reported na naglalagay doon sa mga areas na pwede nilang malagyan to inflict casualties sa ating troops.
Okay, to add up, lady, no? Just make sure, kanina when we were briefing for the updates of the sa internal security operations natin, we are still reporting some neutralization or capture and seizure of these particular anti-personnel mines So it means to say that all of these particular groups, to include with together with the communist terrorist group and these local terrorist groups, are still actually using. No, so that's why we're still recovering and capturing these particular items na ginagamit nila, which is also their TTPs in particular in defense purposely to para doon sa ating mga sundalo. No, these are anti-personnel mine and these are improvised explosive devices.
Sir, can you say na with the neutralization ng leader, mababawasan yung use of APMs?
Well, with regard to in any organization, terror organization, malaking impact talaga pag ang isang leader ang na-neutralize natin, because there will be, magkakaroon siya ng vacuum of leadership, and this will disorient the other members, and this is an opportune time for the Philippine Army to pursue particularly these remnants. No? That's why an ongoing pursuit operations is being conducted to make sure na matapos talaga ito ang mga grupo na to. Thank you.
Sir, follow up lang dun sa question nga sa BIFF. Paano po yung naging encounter? Ano po, may nagtimbre ho ba ng impormasyon na merong rebelde doon sa lugar, or nagsasagawa ho ng military operations talaga yung ating army, and then na-encounter lang sila on the spot doon sa lugar?
As per report, sir, yung troops natin receive information from the community regarding the presence of the local terrorist group. So with that, nag-conduct tayo ng operation to verify or kung ano yung nandun.
Sir, dun sa 12 na yun, may nakatakas ho ba? Or lahat ho yun ng 12 na yun, yun lang ho yung naitimbre ng komunidad? Tapos napatay rin ho ng grupo natin?
Meron mga nakatakas din.
That totally is the subject of our pursuit operation. Yung mga nakaligtas na doon sa series of encounters that happened. So basically, all military operations nagsisimula sa information na nakukuha, and then it's being developed sa intelligence, and then before it's acted upon for confirmation and for validation, basically. And then we launch our particular focused military operations to make sure that hindi sila makapag-terrorize sa ating community. So all of these operations, ganun ang sinusunod natin ng mga patterns.
Sir, may phone-in question. May airstrike ko ba na doon sa BIFF?
I think there was close air support that was used because of the series of encounters that yung tropa natin sa ground was encountered. This is actually because of the presence of these anti-personnel mines that needs to be detonated for the approach of our soldiers.
Sir, meaning to say, isa tong BIFF, di ba dun sa mga sinasabi nating mga mahihina na rin talaga na rebel groups. So, meaning to say, sa pagkamatay nga nung 12 ito, mas lalo, may kita ba natin na mas lalo nang mahina sila, and at the same time, hindi na talaga makakabalik pa sa katayuan nila?
Definitely, we would like to assume that it would have that particular impact. So, anyway, we'll keep on updating you for any updates for these kind of operations. Hindi naman natin forget the armed forces have shifted from territorial defense, but definitely we will not, hindi natin iiwanan ang internal security operations. We're still looking after for these particular threats. Thank you very much. So if there are no last questions, yes sir.
Baka makalimutan ko lang yung sa Balikatan exercise. Bakit po na-cancel yung air and missile exercise sa ano po?
We'll have to tackle that later mamaya, sir, no? Para maging focus lang tayo, para at least dire-diretso tayo. I think all of that, and I will be helping answer all those questions. Together with me is the members of the Combined Joint Information Bureau to help out on this particular aspect kung bakit na-cancel yan. Anyway, if there are no other questions for the Philippine Army, maraming salamat, Mr. Estrada. We'll call on the Philippine Navy spokesperson for some updates or other future activities of the Navy. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good Navy afternoon to everybody. Welcome to the headquarters, Philippine Navy. Unang-una sa lahat, true to our promise that we will make sure that the investigation regarding the crash involving the R-22 will be as expeditious as possible. The investigating team is already finalizing the investigation report. That particular report will be transmitted to the Naval Air Wing, and then to the headquarters of the Philippine Fleet, and then finally to the headquarters of the Philippine Navy. Until then, we cannot disclose the result of the investigation, but will be as transparent as possible. Secondly, last week, the Navy hosted a symposium to conceptualize the naval support to the CADC. This was done 16th of April of last week. The schedule for the commissioning of the FAICs, which was originally set on the 15th of March, I think, then rescheduled to the 29th of this month, will be rescheduled to the 16th of May to give way for the Balikatan exercises. So to our media friends who haven't submitted their credentials, you can do so that you can cover the FAIC commissioning. This will be conducted at aboard the Naval Shipyard in Cavite City. 2 weeks ago, I think you're already aware of it, we successfully conducted the sea acceptance test of the non-line of sight missile, which was fired from our FAICs. This was done off the coast of Bataan, and the Navy or the Philippine Fleet was able to hit the target with pinpoint accuracy, and the distance was around 11 to 20 kilometers. Pinpoint accuracy on the dot. So we're very happy that the Navy now has this particular capability. Any other questions I can address right now?
Yes, yeah, from Jimmy. No, for the Navy. Okay, if there are no about any clarifications, questions for the Philippine Navy. Yeah, from the Army, Air Force, just now we have the Navy spokesperson to address some of your questions. Although our FOIC will be attending this particular weekly press later on. So yung mga medyo parang easy questions can be handled by the,
Sir, can you confirm
the Director and PAO.
Sir, can you confirm yung arrival po ng BrahMos Super Cruise Missiles?
Question
That's a very easy question. At this particular point in time, the Navy hasn't accepted any of the lots related to the SBASAM project. So I would respectfully refer you to the Department of National Defense. They have the detailed timelines of all AFP modernization projects. I believe I sent everybody that particular message already.
Any other clarification, easy questions that can be handled by the Director of NPAO? Kasi mamaya yung hard questions can be addressed to the FOIC mamaya. Pagdating.
Sir,
Yes.
Sir, another one.
Ay, sige.
Easy
Before
question.
Victor. Okay, okay, Ian.
Sir, can you update us on the ongoing investigation about one of your reservists, si Representative Pantaleon Alvarez, who who called for withdrawal of support kay PBBM? Ano po yung investigation ngayon ng Navy sa kanya?
So immediately after he made the pronouncements, immediately the day after he made the pronouncements, the Philippine Marine Corps directed the 9th Marine Brigade to ask Colonel Pantaleon Alvarez to clarify his statements. And those statements will be the basis of further action by the Philippine Navy.
So as of now, wala
It's
pa
still
tayong-
ongoing, sir. It's still ongoing.
Wala pa tayong results. It's still ongoing
Yes, sir.
investigation.
May response na po siya?
We have to check with the 9th Marine Brigade, sir. I'll get back to you with the response, sir.
Any other further clarification? Easy questions? Kasi the hard questions will be addressed by the FOIC himself. Any other easy question for the Philippine Navy? If not, thank you very much,
Thank you, sir.
Commander JP Alcos. Now, before calling for the West Philippine Sea, maybe kanina, I think already questioning about the Balikatan, we have our special guest for today. We have the representative from the U.S. Side for the Balikatan who's participating is Lieutenant Colonel Brian Block.
Magandang umaga po. So after yesterday's opening ceremony, we're excited to get the exercise started. As Lieutenant General Journey said, this year's exercise represents an increase in the scope, scale, and complexity of the exercise over previous years. That complexity for the FTXs will build over the next 3 weeks from We'll build from bilateral unit level training up to the maritime strike toward the end of the exercise. At the same time, we have humanitarian civil assistance projects going. Oh, sorry. I will slow down. We have humanitarian civil assistance projects going throughout northern Luzon as well as Palawan, and then we are integrating at the staff level here on Camp Aguinaldo as well as elsewhere in the Philippines. It's a pleasure to be here and have the opportunity to train with our Philippine partners in an exercise that represents a tangible commitment to the alliance and to regional security and stability. And with that, I open it up to any questions you have.
Okay, we have starting questions coming from anybody would like to throw in the questions. Please state that in English so that it could be better understood by our. Wala na gusto magtanong, oh. Anyway, I'll be translating that if you could in vernacular. I'll just have to translate that to our talking head. Yes, sir. Please
Sir,
do.
can you expound your humanitarian effort or assistance you're doing right now in northern part?
So there are.
What particular humanitarian efforts are these?
So there are 5 separate locations, 4 of them in Luzon, 1 in Palawan, where we are doing construction, medical engagements, and then community relations activities. Those are Ilocos Norte, Cagayan, La Union, and Rizal. And then we have wrapped up medical engagements in Dingalan. And I apologize for my pronunciation, so if my Filipino is not good enough for you, please, or Tagalog is not good enough for you, please let me know. That's one of the 3 lines of effort for Balikatan. Sorry. Just position me where I need to be. Okay. So those, the humanitarian civil assistance projects began in March and will wrap up at the end of the exercise on 9 May with ribbon cuttings at the engineering projects. Those primarily include construction of schools and community health centers.
Mahirap lang kasi mag-English. Ayun naman talaga. Anyway, just kidding. Any other clarification for the Balikatan at the... Okay, John Eric of Inquirer, please. Thank you very much.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Can you... why did the U.S. deploy this time this Typhoon capability missile system? What's the reason behind the deployment for the first time?
So,
It's all about the deployment of the medium-range capability missile system.
So the MRC is here to participate in SALAC-NIB, but is also here contributing in Balikatan as part of the FTXs. It's virtually. Deploying the MRC is an opportunity to test the logistics and how we would integrate that process into the deployment here in Balikatan. So there are a lot of lessons to be learned about bringing the system over itself that inform future employment opportunities. So it's a good training opportunity for us, and on the Philippine side, how we would integrate the deployment of that capability.
Okay, just to add up, there will be no live firing exercise for the MRC missile system capabilities that we're doing. Their presence is more of the learning on its particular mobilizations around in the Pacific region. So these are the mobilization, logistics, and transport is part of the exercise. It's not just on our particular operations. That's, I think, what's being, we would want to tell everybody that this particular capability is for us to learn on how these kind of assets will particularly benefit on its speedy mobilization if needed. Thank you. Yes, for the follow-up.
Can we ask for your reaction? China says China's accusing U.S. of stoking military confrontation with the deployment of these missiles. Can you comment on that?
So Balikatan, and I can only speak to Balikatan. Balikatan is about the United States and the Philippines and our relationship, and the U.S. commitment to increasing combined capability and promoting a free and open Indo-Pacific. This exercise has been going on for almost 40 years now, 4 decades. And I think it's a testament to the strength of the U.S.-Philippine relationship and our commitment to the region.
Thank you. Any other questions coming from the media for our subject matter experts on their particular side? Okay, thank you very much, Lieutenant Colonel Block. That was a very good answer. Again, thank you. And now, we saved the last for the best for the last, but this is not the last because we're having the very important guest later coming in. May we call Commodore Roy Trinidad for the West Philippine Sea updates and any other clarifications on the West Philippine Sea. Thank you very much.
Yes, just
And by the way, today is his birthday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Nagtatrabaho na, nagtatrabaho pa rin kahit birthday. Okay. So take it easy on our Commodore Day.
Yes, anything you'd like to ask about the West Philippine Sea? Any updates?
Yes, Zon.
Sir, dahil nga nagsisimula na rin yung Balikatan, can we see na parang mas dadami pa yung PLA Navy ships dun sa West Philippine Sea or any other vessels pa ng China para lang maipakita na yun nga na about nga dun sa Balikatan or they are against about it?
Our monitoring showed us that there's no significant increase in the PLA Navy or the Coast Guard. However, there was a surge in the maritime militia. From the previous 2 weeks, 69, 50 to 110 for this week. So there's been a surge in the presence of the maritime militia, specifically in Bahoni, Masinloc, and Pag-asa. This coincided with the launching of Balikatan.
So do you attribute that to the Balikatan, the increase? Sorry, sir.
It could be, our monitoring for the past 2 months, for March and April, has given us a fairly constant, from a low of 33 to a high of 69, and an average around 60 various vessels of China. It's only for this week that we have seen a surge of up to a total of 124. 3 PLA Navy, 11 Coast Guard, and 110 maritime militia. So yes, this coincides with Balikatan.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir, Victor Malaya.
Do you have any theory bakit dumami?
I could not speculate on that. I'm only basing my statements on the facts that we have. We have been monitoring their presence for the past 2 months since I became this PN spokesman for West Philippine Sea. And like what I said, it's a fairly constant number, from a low of 33 to a high of 69 on a weekly basis. This upsurge is out of the normal.
Sir, I asked this a few days ago from Colonel Brown, and I'm also going to ask this. Sir, do we expect China's interference dun sa Balikatan?
No,
Why, sir?
because it is an activity between the US and the Philippines. Historically, the illegal, unprovoked, uncalled for actions of China were only against the Philippines.
But do we have contingency measures in case they disrupt or they interfere with the exercise?
Yes, there are appropriate measures in place.
Thank you, Victor, for the post questions. Yes, from ABS-CBN. Again, Michael from ABS-CBN.
In the South China Sea, sir.
How do I feel?
Yeah, how do you feel about it? What's the sentiment of the Philippine Navy?
It's an increase. We have noted it. Are we concerned? We just monitor them.
Okay.
And again, it's not normal compared to the previous weeks that we have been monitoring them.
Sir, were you also able to monitor the 2 Chinese maritime militia vessels that came as close as 30 nautical miles from the shores of Palawan? Were you also able to?
Last Saturday, 2 maritime militia vessels left Mischief Reef. They lingered in the vicinity of Ayungin Shoal. They were monitored passing through Abad Santo Shoal. They traveled south-southeast towards Palawan. Westcom and Naval Forces West were monitoring them, and Westcom dispatched a Coast Guard vessel to intercept them. However, when the Coast Guard vessel got to their track, both ships were gone.
Okay, Brian from TV5.
Sir, you mentioned na yung PLA walang increase, yung China Coast Guard walang increase. What do you think, sir? Bakit of all the vessels na meron sila, yung pang Chinese Maritime Militia, which is, as we all know, presenting themselves as civilian, and then meron tayong military exercise na andun naman yung sama-sama naman yung mga warships natin. So.
I don't want to speculate on the reason for the increase. Again, I mentioned for the PLA Navy and the Coast Guard, it is any numbers that they project into our EEZ is within the strength of the South China Fleet. Also, the Maritime Militia are within the strength of the Maritime Militia in the South China Sea. There are times we monitor up to 250 to 300 of them. But this particular increase is not normal. On the reason why, I can only say it coincides with Balikatan. For whatever reason, I don't want to speculate.
Have we anticipated yung increase na to? Kasi sinasabi naman na sa last press con yesterday na we expected yung Chinese presence na they will be showing up, but ito nga, Chinese Maritime Militia. And do you think, sir, possible ba na may mga gawin din silang activities?
I don't expect them to do anything illegal because of the presence of foreign warships.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Any other questions? Yes, sir. At the back.
Kim Salinas, sir, from A to Z. So, sir, sabi niyo kanina ay very constant yung pagdami nila. It's quite alarming po ba from the team of the armed forces natin sa Philippines?
It's not alarming. We just monitor the increase. Iba naman yung alarming.
Bagamat sabi rin kahapon ng Coast Guard, they are ready na andun anytime na may manggulo during the Balikatan, andun sila para to secure the place. In connection ba ito doon, sir, sa pagdami ng Chinese militia natin?
We thank the Coast Guard for that.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other clarifications or any questions for our West Philippine Sea issues or topic from the media? Yes, sir.
Sir, kamustahin ko lang yung tropa natin doon sa BRP Sierra Madre. Ngayon, napakataas ng heat index. Kamusta po yung kanilang sitwasyon ngayon doon?
Napakataas yung
heat index po,
yeah.
init ng panahon. Opo.
Yeah,
Sila ba apektado rin po?
They're doing good. They have appropriate capabilities there. Desalination plants, their water is sufficient, so we have not received any report of any untoward incident in terms of their health.
Wala pong insidente ng mga heat exhaustion, sir, or mga...
Wala naman. Anytime they feel hot, they could hit the water.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Next question will be posed by Victor. Then after that, Senator Patrick.
Yes, one quick follow-up, sir. Sir, last week, sir, you said na under planning stage yung next RORE. Is there a chance, sir, na magko-coincide yung RORE with the multilateral maritime exercise between France, US, and Philippines?
I would like to leave the details to the ground commander, the Commander Western Command and Naval Forces West. I don't want to preempt anything.
Thank you very much. Yes, Patrick.
Yun nga rin, sir, almost more than a month na yata yung last resupply sa BRP Sierra Madre, saka nagkaroon pang ng bahagyang di ba, sir, nagkaroon ng water cannon, so naapektuhan doon yung resupply. So kamusta, sir, yung troops natin doon? Enough pa ba yung pagkain, tubig?
Apparently, their supplies are sufficient, considering that there have been no noted urgent request for food or water.
Okay, any other questions? Yes, Robina.
Sir, follow-up lang doon sa increasing number of maritime militia. Ano po yung namomonitor natin ng mga activities nila for the record?
We just noted the presence, and most of the time, this maritime militia would be anchored, and they would be in nest formation. When we say nest in naval terminology, tabi-tabi sila na naka-angkla.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. And Robina, any other question? If there are no more questions for yes, Victor.
Quick question.
do I expect them to?
To behave well, to be less
Yes, yes, that has been the call ever since for China to respect international law. And I expect them to behave properly this time.
during this Balikatan, sir?
Yes.
And why, sir?
Why? Because of the presence of the international participants for BK.
Okay, thank you very much. If there are no more questions coming from our media friends, again, sir, thank you very much, Commodore Trinidad, sir, for your splendid answers.
Thank you and salamat sa pagbati ninyo.
And again, let's sing a happy birthday. Actually, hindi tayo papasa sa isang choir. I guess, wag na tayo mag-apply sa choir para hindi tayo papasa sa kanila na. Anyway, that was a very intensive question and answer coming for this our weekly presser. Right now, we'll have at least a short minute break. No? And then we will be, para medyo mag-stretch up yung iba kasi mukhang buong oras tayong hindi tayo nakapo. But we'll be waiting for the arrival of our FOIC to meet with the media on this particular aspect. So prior to that, I think the Director ENPA would also be showing some video clip. So pasensya na, medyo malit lang. It was being prepared. So pwede natin makita mamaya for our camera crew could actually cover. And hopefully, ito yung makunatan. So magkaroon muna tayo ng 3 minutes. Stretch lang ng konti, 3 minutes. No, 3 minutes break lang tayo. And then, wala nang bababa masyado. Dito na lang tayo kung sakali. Thank you very much once again. Hindi pa tapos yung press briefing natin. It's for the FOIC. Diretso na. Sabi nyo ba, there's Lego. Kaya ito mag-PPS. Mag-PPS. Puno. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please let's go back to our respective one. I think the FOIC is already coming, so we will again continue with our weekly presser. Gentlemen, ladies, let's all welcome our flag officer in command.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, ladies. Allow me first to read my prepared statement about the things that the Navy has been doing for the past few weeks. On behalf of the Philippine Navy, I formally welcome you to this press conference where we provide you with updates on the Philippine Navy's recent undertakings in line with the fulfillment of our mandate to safeguard our nation's sovereignty and foster sustainable development. Earlier this month, the Philippine Navy engaged with our allies and partners who share the same vision to enhance interoperability and capabilities in naval operations. I had separate meetings with the U.S. Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Lisa Franchetti, the newly installed U.S. Pacific Fleet Commander, Admiral Stephen Kahler, and the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force Chief of Staff, Admiral Ryo Sakai in Hawaii. The discussion centered on our long-standing collaboration with the United States and Japan navies toward promoting security and stability in the Indo-Pacific region. In relation to this, we proudly announce successful conduct of the inaugural multilateral maritime cooperative activity last 7 April with Australia, Japan, and the US. This initiative is aligned with the country's commitment to uphold the 2016 arbitral ruling and engage our regional partners in safeguarding freedom of navigation, overflight, and security in international waters. We also welcomed and fully supported the historic first trilateral summit involving Japan, the Philippines, and the US on April 11 toward maintaining regional cooperation and security. On a somber note, we mourn the passing of two of our naval aviators, Lieutenant John Cal Bores and Ensign Isa Leona Takad, in the recent crash of one of our naval aircraft in Cavite City last April 11. The Philippine Navy has extended all necessary support and assistance to their families during this challenging time, and we will continue to honor them by persisting in service to our maritime nation. In the continued pursuit of our modernization, our Navy reached significant milestones in the past year, especially with the commissioning of new fast attack interdiction crafts and integration of advanced missile systems. We have also successfully conducted activities that demonstrate our capabilities, highlighting the Spike non-line of sight missile live firing demonstration with the assistance of Rafael Advanced Defense System of Israel, which was conducted on April 10 in the vicinity of Bataan. Activities and milestones such as this extend to the ongoing expansion and improvement of naval bases across our archipelago. These upgrades and efforts strategically position our assets for effective defense, and we will continue improving our maritime capabilities toward creating a credible defense posture and a naval force fully mission capable for comprehensive archipelagic defense. Moreover, these transformative initiatives are part of our pledge to support national leadership and the AFP in implementing the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept. We have also begun crafting the concept of naval support to the CADC and have undertaken significant strides in collaborating with subject matter experts and other government agencies, starting with the symposium conducted last April 11. We are also strengthening cooperation with other branches of service in the AFP as we reinforce our role of protecting our borders and natural resources, as well as maintaining regional peace and stability. Looking ahead, the Philippine Navy is honored to host the 11th ASEAN Navy Young Officers Interaction from June 24 to 28 of this year at the Subic Freeport Zone in Zambales, with the theme, Empowering ASEAN Young Leaders for a Progressive Cooperation Towards a Peaceful and Secure Maritime Region. This event aims to develop and strengthen relations with our counterparts and contemporaries in the ASEAN navies. Furthermore, we are also gearing up for the Rim of the Pacific exercise in Honolulu, Hawaii, from June 27 to August 2, 2024, where we will engage with partner navies in enhancing interoperability and cooperation. This will further highlight the significant improvements we have successfully achieved toward becoming a modern and multi-capable naval force responsive to our maritime nation's defense and development. We also look forward to celebrating the Navy's 126th anniversary, where we aim to showcase our journey in the realization of our vision and the path ahead in alignment with our nation's comprehensive archipelagic defense. Despite navigating through uncharted waters and rough seas, we remain steadfast in our commitment to serving with excellence, upholding a culture of innovation, and embracing organizational growth and transformation. In closing, let us forge ahead with determination and stand united in our resolve to safeguard our nation and secure a brighter future for generations to come. Your sailors and Marines will continue to fulfill our responsibility with integrity and utmost dedication, following the vision of our chain of command. The Philippine Navy will steadfastly uphold the rule of law, ensuring security and stability as guardians of our seas. As part of the AFP, we reaffirm our unwavering loyalty and commitment to the Constitution and the Commander-in-Chief of all armed forces, which is the President of the Republic of the Philippines. Remember, one AFP, one Philippines, strong AFP, strong Philippines. Thank you for your unwavering support and trust. Together, let us continue to chart a course toward a safer and more progressive future. Good day, mabuhay.
Thank you very much, sir, for that statement. Now, may we ask you to address some of the questions to be thrown out by the members of the Defense Press Corps. Any first questions coming from the DPC? Yes, Brian Castillo of TV5.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
China is making an issue, sir, out of the selection ng BRP Calaraya para sa maritime strike. They're making an issue out of it, sir. What's your reaction on to? Kasi considering na made in China daw yung BRP Calaraya, tapos bakit daw yung pa yung napili?
Maybe we could direct the question, the answers to be answered by Commodore.
It could also have been made in another country.
Yun lang, sir, sabi nila eh. Parang they're making an issue out of it.
It's just coincidental. Don't put any meaning to that. It's just coincidental. It's not complicated, it's coincidental. We have to check. If ever it is, it's no pun intended, no meaning to that. It's just coincidental, if ever it is.
And so, sir, China should not make an issue out of it.
No issue with that.
That's the issue with that. The vessel has been used in the Philippines for a long, long time. So any attachment, if ever there is any, doesn't matter at all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Brian, okay. Next questions will be questioned by Patrick Tesos of TV4.
Pero why, sir, yung BRP Lake Caliraya yung gagamitin as
target.
More of about Balikatan exercises that we're referring to.
Well, it was it's an old Navy vessel which we decommissioned, and just like in any sinking exercise around the world, they use old vessels as the target of the exercise, and the same thing we are doing with Lake Caliraya. It's already a decommissioned, vessel.
Okay, John Eric, nauna si John Eric for the questions sa Inquirer.
Sir, the sinking drills will be conducted on the northernmost part of our mainland Luzon, which is relatively near Taiwan. What kind of message does this send to other countries, sir? Thank you.
Again, just to remind our media partners, there are other exercises where not all of our Philippine assets are being required to, but those questions are basically for the Balikatan exercises, and our FOIC here would gladly answer that is related to the Philippine Navy. Okay. Nevertheless, these particular exercises will be announced, and we'll be giving you some briefing on this one during the activity. Thank you very much. Priam of Nepomuceno of PNA, please. Thank you.
Sir, craving your indulgence, will our frigate, the BRP Antonio Luna, be firing its Sea-Star missiles towards that BRP Caliraya during the sinking exercise?
No, it's not Antonio Luna, it's Jose Rizal.
The ship will be firing its missiles over the target?
Yes.
Are you confirming that, sir?
Yes.
You will be firing a Sea-Star missile for the very first time?
The statement of the AFP PAO is the same for this activity. There will be appropriate announcements for that.
Thank you.
Balikatan is Balikatan.
That's why there's the phrase craving your indulgence.
Talagang you really made it. The easier question actually, sir, was answered by Director NPAO. Now they're preparing the hard questions for you. Okay. But that is supposed to be related to the Philippine Navy. Okay, those questions can be answered in our Balikatan updates later on, and I think the members of the BCG will be updated for this one. Thank you very much. Lady Cabani was first raising the hand. Daily Tribute.
Good afternoon, sir. Going back doon sa PRP Caliraya, pwede pong mahingi ang background ng ship
Bukulin mo
for the record.
Background.
Ilang taon na sir, ganyan, gano'n na po katagal? Oo. Background lang sir ng barko, ilang taon na po ito, bakit?
No, this is an old tanker. We commissioned it in the Navy several years ago to support the conduct of our naval operations. It's an old tanker, but because we can no longer we found it appropriate to decommission it so as not to incur so much expenses on repair and maintenance, and we reserved it for exercises such as Balikatan, so we can have a target for our firing.
Sir, approx ng edad ng barko, may mga 50 years na ba? Ganyan?
Yes,
More
or less.
More or less 50 years.
Okay, that's Zon Ballester of IBT 13, sir. Next to throw the question is Victor Reyes of Malaya.
Sir, can you tell us about the number of floating assets ng Navy and how many more Navy ships do we need to better protect yung territory natin under CADC?
We are currently re-evaluating our programs, our projections with the recent adoption of the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept and the need to extend up to our exclusive economic zone. For sure, it will affect the desired force mix that we have to maintain in the fleet. And that is something that is the subject of a continuing work and current studies by our staff. Our floating assets, we have slightly less than 100 at present. Yes, yes. That's why in our modernization program, we plan for the acquisition of more platforms and more systems. Yes, yes. The force mix, the final list of the force mix shall be dependent on the output of workshop to be conducted by our staff.
Thank you very much, Victor. Our next question to be posed by Pabina Asido of Manila Shimbun.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, have we discussed the official security assistance to our Japanese counterpart?
Yes, we have heard about that, and we are fortunate because we are one of the first beneficiaries of their OSA.
Any updates, sir, on our requests under the OSA?
They have made statement that they will help us in our efforts to increase the range of our maritime domain awareness capability, and we are very optimistic that their commitment shall be complied with.
Can you name any specific assets that was mentioned during the discussion?
I've heard about they mentioned about radars.
How about
Sure.
ships?
There are no discussions on that yet.
Timeline, sir? Do we have any timeline or?
It's difficult to put a timeline because we are also dependent on their pronouncements.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Any last questions to be posted coming from the members of the DPC? I think everybody's satisfied of all the answers. All updates on the Balikatan will be later on discussed. Thank you very much, sir, for your presence. Palapakan naman natin ating flag officer in command dito sa Philippine Navy.
As an aside, off-cam we can show to you a video clip of the latest missile non-line of sight firing we had a few weeks ago, if you're interested. Off-cam.
Off-cam daw tayo.
Yeah.
So,
just to apprise you of the progress that we're making in our modernization efforts.
So, sir, thank you very much, sir, for the time, sir. Now, we request that's going to be off